Good evening. I'm Erica Arnold, and I'm going to go over my EDL 852 case study, Who Should Create the School's Vision? Okay, so for the case study, there's a rural school district, and they're having a need for more space. Right now, there is an elementary school and a middle high school, which is kind of like what I grew up with, actually, in a small farming community. The community has been growing over the last so many years, and even though they have a 9-year loan that is due on one of the schools that they built, they are having a need for more space. So there were 3 options, which were to expand the elementary school, expand the high school, or to build a new middle school. Additions were a preference for the community just because they do have that 9-year loan, and they wanted to pay that loan off before they built a new school. They see the need for it, but they did want to pay that loan off. However, the new middle school was chosen, so therefore the superintendent asked that the principal be hired about a year before the school is to open. So they did choose Ms. Potter, and they do believe she's a visionary leader. What that means to me is that she has visions for the future for both the community, for the staff, for the students, so that she'll be able to lead them not only right now, but into the future, and to continue to make the school successful. So one of the things that Ms. Potter is going to need to do is they're going to need to have a new mission and vision statement. That's not something that they currently have because the middle school will be new. Mission and vision statements, as you know, are extremely important. We need to know where we're going as a school, why we're doing what we're doing. Creating those visions and then the mission helps lead to curriculum choices. It will help set our core values up. So in order to complete some of the tasks that need to be completed, Ms. Potter did set up an advisory committee. That committee consists of herself, which is the principal. There are 4 teachers of various different academics on her team, and 4 different parents. So the first task for that committee will be to write the vision statement. You write your vision statement, and then from that, you're going to expand on it with your mission statement. I do believe when the teachers were chosen for the committee, Ms. Potter laid out some clear guidelines. One of the guidelines stated that they would be working together to write the mission and the vision. I think the principal is promoting the current success and staff for the staff and students by using community members, teachers to write this vision, and not just doing it herself. Even though she's considered a visionary leader and she does have the knowledge to lead, you need to have everybody's input in order to have a good, solid vision and a good, solid mission. If you write a vision and a mission on your own, it is harder, I feel, to get people to jump on board your train, per se, so that you can get this rolling. I know myself as a teacher, I don't want to necessarily be told. And when I did look for a job when I graduated college forever ago, it seems like, that was something that I looked at, is the school's vision and mission and what they were all about and what they believed in. Because as we all have our own philosophies of education, if our philosophy does not match a district or a particular school, then that's not a school that I want to work in. So therefore, as a team creating that, you create an opportunity for there to be more buy-in, both with the community and with your teachers. Yes, the principal also has core value knowledge. So the data use, the technology, the equity, the diversity, the digital citizenship in the community. But teachers and the community members also have that knowledge. They just don't know that they have that knowledge, I believe, at this time. So, as I'm saying, the team members, they have the same skill set. They just don't have the confidence because it's probably not something they've ever done before. And it's probably already something that they've always been given. So, I think part of being that visionary leader is for Ms. Potter to be able to get them on board and to create this together. So incorporating the data use, the technology, the equity, the diversity in the community, with the case study and the information we were given, I believe that information is absent. I do not know how she plans on incorporating that because it just kind of gave us a very basic, this is the problem. She wants to have everyone work together, write those philosophy statements to use it to create the vision. However, the community or the committee members believe that she should do it and they should therefore then work together to get that vision and mission passed. So I'm not sure how she's going to incorporate that. The biggest problem is they want it to be solely on Miss Potter's shoulders. And I also think a problem is with Helen having a brother on the school board. I do believe she's using that influence, maybe in a way that shouldn't necessarily be used. Yes, it's great that she has that team. Yes, it's great they all believe in the principal, but to say this is my belief and I think my brother is going to agree with me, I don't necessarily think is the most professional statement. So Ms. Potter's solution was to come up with individual philosophies and then to come back with that and have them try to put those philosophies together. What I think about this is that although that is a good plan, as I'd said before, I understand the teacher and the parents' apprehension because they're not probably sure exactly what mission or vision is, how it is used, and how to write it. So I think that coming back to the next meeting with a plan to show the committee members how to do that is going to be in Ms. Potter's best interest at this point. When I look at the information and the legal and ethical issues, I don't see any legal issues in this case. However, ethical issues, as the principal being new to the area, she doesn't know, as she had stated in the problem, what their core values are as a community. And she needs that local input so that she understands their beliefs and their values. Moving from New York out here to Kansas, that's something that I also had to look at. Some of the values in some of the schools in this area, being the Bible Belt versus Central New York, have been a little bit different for me, which have I knew that coming into this. That's what I was looking for, was some very big differences from where I grew up. So it's worked out for me. But if you don't know the local people, you don't know what you're getting into, sometimes that can be an ethical issue. I personally feel it can be misleading if just one person does something and then you come in and that's not what the community is all about. So for my sentence synthesis, I wrote that as, although a committee has been formed to help with the new school's growth and vision statement, the group feels as though the new principal should come up with the vision that the group will then support. Missing facts, I don't see about any people. They have the principal, they have some teachers, they have some community members. That will be taken to the superintendent. It will be taken to the Board of Education as we come up with that mission, vision, all those things. So all the people, I believe, that need to be involved. We could have a bigger variety of staff maybe. But other than that, I believe everything is covered. As far as place, I don't see anything that's missing there. As far as the programs, we're not talking about programs currently because using that vision and then therefore that mission statement will help us choose programs and curriculum. There also was no information given about those priorities we talked about earlier. So it's important to identify when information is missing before you start to completely analyze your case and begin to solve your problem so that you know what you have to think about and you need to know what you have to include to make sure everything is getting solved. So to prioritize the information given to us, there is not enough room for the students. There is a new middle school with a new principal. A committee has been formed for community value-based vision and other tasks. The committee believes the principal should do it. The principal wants input from everyone because that's how we write a good vision statement and therefore then a good mission statement. The committee voted for the principal to do it. We also know that time is a factor. It's about 12 months before the school opens. So we can't spend 12 months coming up with our vision and our mission because then we won't be able to use that to start to implement our curriculum and choose our programs and how we're going to make our students as successful as they can be. So I created an action plan to, for the next, when I looked at this problem, I looked at it as I was Miss Potter going into the next meeting. What am I going to do to try to get the staff and the teachers and the parents on board with everybody coming together to write this mission? I currently work in a Leader in Me school, and action planning is something that we do on a regular basis. So I did use that document as an action plan. So this is what a Leader in Me document looks like for action planning. So my area of focus is going to be the middle school vision planning. The action team is the advisory committee. So how they put this together is what's called what results we want to get. We want to get that mission statement completed. We will know it's completed when we are able to use it to create a mission and to get a solid curriculum plan. And we have a consensus and everybody knows what's going on. So the big rocks, what that means is the things that are going to be most important to your task at this time. So what we want to complete is our vision statement. We're going to need that vision statement checklist. Using that, we can look at our core values, the data use, the technology, the equity, the diversity, the digital citizenship, the community. All those pieces are put into the vision statement checklist when we're learning or beginning to write our vision statement. We're going to need the vision statement draft. So we'll use the checklist that we're going through to write that draft. When we have a solid draft in place, we'll take that draft to the superintendent, the Board of Education. After they look at it and make we might need to revise it. So it would come back to us and we would revise that vision statement. And then we're going to use that vision statement to begin working on the mission statement and to plan our curriculum. So there is some paradigms of approaches for Leader in Me, and with this one it's the paradigm of leadership, which is everyone can be a leader, and that is what Ms. Potts is trying to get her advisory committee to understand, that everyone can be the leader and we can all work together to create this vision and mission for our new school. So then you look, what are the steps you need to put these big rocks into place? So I thought about if it was me and how I would like to go about it if I didn't know anything about it. So the first thing I did was I found a couple videos that explain, this first video here is going to talk about, hey, here's a vision statement. How can we make this vision statement better? How do we expand on it? Short little 3-4 minute video just explaining what a vision statement is. This next one gives us 3 ways to write a strong vision statement. What is needed? 3 different things that are needed to be included to have a strong vision statement. So I think showing these videos and then having a discussion of the importance of the vision statement and the group working together will give them a better understanding of what a vision statement is and how they can go about doing it. We then need to talk about their apprehensions. Why don't we want to do it? maybe we can get those apprehensions out of the way and we begin to work together. Ideally, we'll begin to work together as a team. So with that, I have found a how-to video. So that gives some ideas about the checklist that I talked about earlier. It explains it a little bit better and shows how to go through the process using a checklist to make a good vision statement. So after we watch that, we can work together as a group. We're going to outline our values and our priorities in this vision statement. Again, we'll send that vision statement to the superintendent at the Board of Education, and then we will revise the statement as needed. So I think using this action plan is going to give the group an opportunity to come together, to look at things. I hope it'll build some confidence and show them that, yes, several people need to be involved in this, and this is why. This is how we're going to go about doing it. It's not going to be as hard and as overwhelming as we think, and coming together, we can do this and we can make something great. So going back to my slideshow here. So my why did I put that into place? Well, you know, I believe in myself as far as becoming a building leader or even just a group leader within my school. I have learned some things throughout these classes that I wish that I had when we were doing our school redesign. I could have definitely used some of this input. I believe I can be motivating. I believe that I can show a team that I am compassionate enough to understand their views, yet encouraging enough to put them all together like we can do this. I want to be their cheerleader, but I also want to be a good leader. I believe it's important to have a good vision and a solid mission for school success. The staff needs to know why we're doing what we're doing. What is our end goal? What do we want to accomplish with our students? And the students need to know why are the teachers doing what they're doing? What is their end goal? They need to believe in their school, in their vision, and their mission just as much as the teachers do. When we believe in these things and we work together to achieve our vision and our mission, then our students are only going to grow and become better citizens as they move through the middle school into the high school and into adulthood. So having a good vision and mission is going to affect our future as a school. It affects our district. If we don't have a solid vision and mission and we kind of flounder in the middle school, that's going to affect what the elementary school kids have done coming into the middle school. It's going to affect the kids moving from the middle school to the high school. All of this works together and needs to be a fluid motion throughout the district so that as the years go on, our kids continue to improve and get better. It's going to affect our building. Where we need to use these things, we need to have it in place to ensure that our curriculums are meeting these visions and the needs of our students. We very well know that technology and communities are changing. Our kids are needing more data and information, I feel like, than we needed as young adults going into the world. So having these good vision and missions and hitting all those core values and responsibilities will ensure that our students are ready to go out into the world to become good citizens. So therefore, the staff will know what we're doing. Again, as I said, it's going to affect the students of the future because we need to take them into being successful adults. So when I looked at my plan, I thought about some pros and some cons. So I think the pros of my plan, I hope it would be motivating. I am going to address apprehensions to the best of my ability. I hope it leads to good group participation, and of course a good vision leads to a good mission. And I believe doing it this way is going to build some more trust in the principal. Trust that the principal doesn't want to be the person that just leads the whole, oh, I am above all, I am in charge. That's not the person I want to be as a building leader. So I believe that you need to build trust, that we can all work on this together. I trust you, you trust me. I think that makes a great staff. And when you have staff that's trusting of each other, you can continue to move the kids into just places that you never thought was possible. The cons, however, of my plan is I do have that outsider status as Miss Potter coming into this. I don't know the values. So if we go with the plan as it is where the principal just leads, I think that there's a lot of discouragement through the principal, and eventually it's going to be discouragement of the team. If apprehensions are not spoken, then is the team going to work together the way it needs to? And is it going to function well enough to complete what we need to complete? I think that it could create lack of confidence. And by that, the district and the committee and the teachers and the board, they all believe as a visionary leader, Ms. Potts should be able to lead. With her really pushing for the staff to do it, it could go to lack of confidence. I could see it as it being, oh, well, we thought she could do this, but she needs our help, so maybe she can't. Even though that's not the case. Again, like I said, I grew up in a small town community. I know how that goes sometimes, especially in a small town farming community. So it could happen. I would hope that it didn't, but it could. And therefore, you don't want to start off on the wrong foot. Not with the community, not with the Board of Education, not with the superintendent, not with your staff, not with your students. And I believe the principal just completing the vision and mission herself is going to lead to starting off on the wrong foot. My personal plan apprehensions, honestly, I think about when I really take this role on. So I thought a lot about, man, yeah, this really could happen as you go into a building. Right now, people in this town, they know me. They know my background. They know what I've been doing within the district for the last 16 years. But I'm not necessarily looking to stay in my town. So going to a whole different community, yeah, I'm kind of apprehensive that this is going to happen. I want to ensure that I show trust and I gain trust, but I also don't want to be a pushover. So you have to find that balance of authority. Like, this is what's going to happen, but I also need to build that trust. I need to make sure that committees are fun, but valuable. I hate going to committees where it's just boring. It's sit and get blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. I like when we can have fun together. And when we do have fun together, I feel like the products that come out of committee meetings are so much more valuable, both to the staff and the students. So looking at all this, I hope it explained what I would do in this situation. I hope that my action plan shows a good route. This final project really allowed me to look at the importance and the need of vision and mission statements. It gave me an opportunity to design a process for writing these statements with a team that I'm confident will include all the elements needed so that I can lead staff and student into success. I wish that I said before that I had learned some of this during redesign, but I think the plan that I was able to come up with is a plan that I could use for several different situations. This project was relevant to my learning. It made me think about what I'll need to do in order to not only get a committee, but the community, staff, and students on my team. Like, I need everyone to be on my side as a building leader. As we all know, you don't have to always agree about things, but we need to be supportive, and I would love to have a supportive staff that doesn't always agree with me, but listens to what I have to say, and therefore I listen to them as well, and we can take our ideas and come up with a consensus to make everything better for our students, because that is my goal in education. This is not about me. This is about making the kids the best they can be. It's so important for everyone, and when I say everyone, as many people as possible, because as we all know, not everyone is going to believe in you. But I want them to believe in me. I want them to know that I believe in them, and then we're going to achieve our goals for the students and for the future of the community and for our country. These kids going to take our country, I hope, to whole new places, and I work really hard to give them the skills and the opportunities to do some great things out there. So when I was reflecting on this, I've said it a couple times, I reflected a lot on our school's redesign team and the process we went through. So I was a co-pilot, and as I think back on it, and I have thought back on it, I really believe that our team failed. We came out with an excellent social emotional program with Leader and Me, but our core subject choices were not great. We actually have pivoted, and we have changed both of the reading and math programs we were doing. We are both no longer doing either one of them, which part was district initiative, part was our building, seeing that things were not working the way that we had hoped. But just going through processes and how to lead, I wish that I had had some of these classes, because I would have been able to, I think, focus our team better. And that is where we had a big problem in our building, is that I feel like even the other co-pilot and I could never get on the same page. And when the group was on the same page, we'd have somebody come in and change the plan on us. It was just, I've learned a lot, and through this process and looking at that, I hope I was able to come up with, again, like I said, a good plan. So some of the choices, were great. Some of them were not. Some of the core subjects we didn't even choose, although that was an admin choice, not our team. But through this case, I was able to reflect on where I believe we went wrong. I can use that to hopefully successfully implement a plan to move our team in a constructive direction when talking about this particular case. So I learned a lot from this class. I learned a lot from this project, and I appreciate everything. And here are my references. And again, thanks for your thoughts. Thanks for your constructive criticism. I do appreciate it all. Have a good evening.